At just 18 years old, pianist Kim Saehyun is already making waves on the international stage. This March, he captured first prize at the prestigious Long-Thibaud competition in Paris, earning praise from critics and audiences alike for his commanding performance of Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3, which we are hearing right now. The French magazine Diapason hailed his performance as stunning, declaring a great pianist has won the competition. Kim also took home the coveted press and audience prizes, solidifying his position as one of the most exciting young talents around. His recent victory builds on an already impressive list of accomplishments. In 2023, Kim swept the Cleveland International Piano Competition for Young Artists. He was also named 2024 Young Arts Winner with distinction in classical music. I'm delighted to say that he joins us via video call now for a special interview from Boston, where he is currently studying music under renowned pianists Baek Hae-sun and Dang Tae-sun. Mr. Kim, hello. It's wonderful to have you on the show today.
Hello, nice to see you, and it's my honor.
Well, first off, congratulations on winning the Long-Thibaud competition. Can you tell us, how does it feel to hear your name announced as the winner of the competition in Paris?
I must say I never really expected that I would win the competition. I really didn't choose to compete because I wanted to win. I wanted to see where I'm at as a musician in my journey of developing as a pianist. So when my name was called as the winner of the competition, I was, of course, relieved, but also really shocked and surprised in a pleasant way, of course. But yeah, I was incredibly honored, and also I think also an enormous amount of responsibility sort of kicked in because this competition has such a rich history of legendary musicians as prize winners. So, but at the same time, it's a wonderful responsibility to have, and I was really grateful for the trust that the jury sort of bestowed upon me. So, yeah, I think the prize really means a lot to me, and I think it sort of serves as an encouragement for me.
Wow, so you weren't expecting to win. You weren't even looking to be that competitive, you're saying, as you were entering the competition. You wanted to see where you were. So that must have meant you played without much pressure. Perhaps that contributed to the win as well.
I think the pressure I had in the competition was mainly because I wanted to be better than I was yesterday, not necessarily because of the competitive aspect of the competition. Um, but just with that pressure itself that I sort of put on myself, this pressure to be better than I was yesterday. It was, I think, already a lot. So I'm not completely sure if sort of distancing myself from the competitive aspect helped me. But yeah, I try my best to just solely focus on the music and to really dedicate myself to it.
What do you think won you your praise in the competition? As we said, you not only won the first prize, but you swept 3 additional honours: the Audience Prize, the Press Jury Prize, and the Paris Prize, the last of which is decided by over 20,000 students across 18 music conservatories in Paris. You've had a few days now to, I guess, digest everything, but what was it about your performance, you think, that won people over?
I am actually not that sure. I just try my best in the competition. I try to do what I can do, and yeah, it just happens. And I try to be as sincere and dedicated as I possibly can in my performance, and um, maybe that was communicated through my music. I'm not completely sure, but um, I really just tried to immerse myself into the music I was playing each day, and I think that worked out for the best.
Sure, definitely. I think the sincerity and dedication shone through, but I think the purity in your wanting to just perform the best you can shone through as well. I think that's what people must have appreciated. Well, tell us a bit more about your story and how you got here as well. Going back, can you tell us how you started playing the piano?
I started playing the piano when I was 4, purely out of curiosity. My mom asked me if I wanted to learn the piano, and of course, it's a very popular after school hobby in Korea. So I was I was I didn't really think too much about it, and when she asked me this question, I was really not taking her that seriously, to be honest. Um, I just said yes, and I was not so much aware of the consequences of my reply. And a piano teacher actually came to my house, and I started taking lessons. And at that point, I couldn't say no. But yeah, my aunt studied piano in college, so I think that was also an influence back then. And she would occasionally teach me, especially before competitions. Um, and yeah, I think at first, because you have to learn the fundamentals of piano technique, and there's a lot of repetition involved, I was not so intrigued by the idea of practicing or taking lessons. But I think when I started to sort of get into the interpretive aspect of music, of classical music, and sort of when I reached the level where I can discuss stylistic choices with my teachers, I really started to open my eyes and my heart to music. And that's, I think, when I started to realize this is maybe what I want to dedicate my entire life to.
Right, so you started early, but I'm guessing then the passion for music came a bit later. But still, when did you realize that this was something you wanted to do and that you perhaps had some talent for it? Would you say you had natural talent or was it more hard work?
Um, I think when I was younger, I believed a lot in my talents. Um, I could practice less than others and still win competitions, so I thought I was very talented. But as time passed, I realized uh, talent is not enough, and I'm not even sure if I'm talented. So yeah, I think it's always a mixture of both, and I think it's just important that we keep that flame inside ourselves, this passion for music, and let it sort of drive us in our lives.
Let's talk about your life in Boston now as well. You moved from Korea and now enrolled at the highly competitive Harvard New England Conservatory dual degree program, which leads to a Bachelor of Arts from Harvard University and a Master of Music from NEC. And NEC, I understand, is renowned for producing some of the world's most celebrated pianists, including legends from Korea like Cho Sung-jin and Kim Sun-wook. You're studying under renowned pianists Dang Tai-sun and Baek Hye-sun, the latter of whom has taught many other leading Korean pianists, including Lee Jin-sang and Im Yoon-chan, the winner of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition, of course. So how have you found it so far, being in Boston and learning from these greats?
Oh, it's wonderful studying here, and Miss Pick and Professor Dong, um, they're so supportive, and it's they don't just guide me as a pianist, but also as a human being. That's something that I really appreciate. Um, and I really admire their humility and their dedication. Um, Studying here is it's I'm always surrounded by inspiring people, and that's something that's really rare. So it's great being here. Yes.
I understand that you mentioned in previous interviews as well that you're aiming to study English language and literature as a part of that program. And I must say, just talking to you today, you're very eloquent, and I would say you seem mature beyond your years of just 17, and so I do feel like you must have a sort of interest in literature as well. Now you're going to be studying it.
I do, yes. I think still my knowledge in literature is nothing compared to some others I know very closely. Um, but I try, and I think literature is quite connected to music. And in fact, there's a lot of composers who've been inspired by a lot of literature, and they would compose music based off of poems or plays, for instance. I think at the end of the day, it's both literature and music are a form of expression, and what they express is the decision of course, the composer and also the writer, the poet, etc. And a lot of the times, in fact, in most cases, the message behind the music, the message behind literature is some fragment of human life that the audience can sort of empathize with. So I think it's great. This connection that I can explore in these two schools is something. It's beyond what I dreamed of.
Yeah, as I said, just talking to you, it's clear that you're not just a musician; you're a thinker as well, and almost philosophical in what you've been saying. But I understand that you also enjoy sports as well, like tennis and table tennis. You enjoy other physical activities as well.
I played them more often when I was younger. Nowadays, I try not to play uh, because it's quite demanding on your body, and tennis is a tough sport. But when I was younger, yes, definitely, I was really into tennis. I think when I was in elementary school, for instance, I think in my second and third grades, I competed in national competitions in tennis, and I did once dream of becoming a professional tennis player. But I'm glad that I didn't make that decision.
Well, wow, a jack of all trades, and I'm sure your teachers will be happy to know that you're not playing tennis anymore and that you're looking after your body. I don't think we'd be very worried if you were to injure your hand or your wrist or something like that. So yes, I'm sure the teachers appreciate you saying that. Well, we're running out of time, but yeah, it's been very interesting to talk to you. What plans do you have next? What does being a pianist and playing the piano mean to you?
That's a very good question, and also a very difficult question. I think piano will always remain a passion of mine, the biggest passion in my life for sure. It'll never be work for me, no matter how seriously I tackle these pieces written for the piano. Um, like I said, it's always like a small flame that's always burning inside me that sort of lights up the world inside me. Um, and it's something that makes me, I think my life as a pianist also drives me and inspires me to be a better person each and every day. So I think the piano, I don't know. It's really difficult to summarize or to put it into a few words, but I think the piano will remain the biggest and most important portion of my life, and it'll remain my most important passion.
Well, we're very excited to see where your career heads next, especially because you are clearly very talented, but also mature, level-headed, and also, as I said, quite philosophical, and you have a very philosophical mind. It's very interesting to talk to you today. We'll be following your career closely. For today, we'll leave it there. We'll be speaking to pianist Kim Saehyun, winner of the Long-Thibaud competition. Thank you once again for your time today.
Thank you. My pleasure.